kind of got it. Look at see, it's stable now.
Hi guys, this is the fourth episode of the Ramblerz podcast, and this is I'm Shalom, or Shalomythehomie, and this is my co-host,
Julian, or King.Julianno. Today we're here to talk about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going down in the hip-hop community right now. It's a whole like chain of events, like a series happening. Obviously, we'll save this for another time. We have the double XL freestyles. We have the Tay K situation. We just have a lot of new music coming out. A lot of stuff in general. So I think it's just crazy, especially with the whole Tay K thing. As you guys know, he pleaded guilty basically to I think it was like a robbery, right? Basically, or something like that.
a robbery and then like, probably a connection to like murder.
Yeah, so basically, I think it was the murder of a guy named Ethan Walker. He was like a younger kid or something like that.
Was he like an older man?
Yeah, well, there was an old man incident too, on top of that.
Oh yeah, because it was assault, right?
Yeah.
Older man, okay, yeah.
So literally, there's like two situations going on at once. There's literally like, Tay K is in trouble for being involved with some sort of murder. On top of that, they say that he beat up some old man and like robbed him. And then on top of that, there's another murder trial he has to face after this, basically where they say he was the alleged trigger man. So like in this one, they know basically like, yeah, that he didn't pull the trigger. But I think it's just insane for someone like Tay K, who has all this potential. He's got all this music coming out. Basically, his career is done with.
Tay K very hard.
Like, he's not very hard anymore, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think it's just, I mean, honestly, you can't back up people being involved in some sort of murder. I don't know exactly what the situation was, but I think it should be kind of like a lesson for a lot of like younger rappers, just to be like, yo. Like,
or just people.
Just people in general.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't want to be associated or surround yourself with like that type of those type of people or that energy, that type of energy.
Yeah.
And then like, because you never know where you can end up. Like
yeah.
something like this matter could happen.
I think Tay K just messes like, I don't know, bro. He just messed himself up.
He just put himself in this bad situation. Because, you know, like, even though he was rapping about it, you know, even like with the whole, the song that he blew up off of. Like,
The Race. Yeah.
And, you know, he had a couple songs way before that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just.
He literally snitched on himself.
He snitched on himself.
Within the song.
Self-snitching. Right?
So, I think what's crazy is, I don't know if you guys have seen the update, but they said in the court recently, and I think this is how they like sentenced him to 55 years, is they played that song within the court, and literally, bro, like, the lyrics of that song, he's literally talking about doing the race.
Just imagine the jury.
Yeah, the jury, I bet you they're all like turning up and they're like, oh, this is
No, it's pretty.
Yeah, but we're still gonna send him to jail.
That's still gonna send him to jail. The lyrics have the genius lyrics explained.
The genius lyrics are just like on the screen.
But Tay K's in jail, he's like, this is what I knew this lyric was.
Yeah, no, but like, it's just, it's crazy, bro. It's literally like one of those things, and the kid's only like, what, 17 or 18?
I have no idea. Anyways, like, it was just 2 years ago, but now, like, now the case has actually been, you know, it has been recently.
It usually takes a while, like, at least from, like, what I've heard for, like, murder trials to, like, go through. I mean, look at the whole X thing. All those guys got arrested, but we haven't heard any update about it in over a year, about their sentencing, about how long they're going to stay in jail for. But
at
least from what I know.
It's crazy that this whole, like, Tay K thing's happening.
No,
because,
yeah.
Like, 55, because at first it was, everyone, like, the news people got was, like, 99 years, which was kind of, like, super, like, oh crap, you know? Like,
I think it was, like, they sentenced him at first, they're like, hey, you got anywhere between, like, 5 and, like, 99 years, right? But then I guess they finally decided on, like, 55.
55 years.
55 years.
The filter app, right? It's like
yeah, it's like the Face app. It's called Face app.
And then you just see all those photos of Tay K being hella older.
He's like, ooh, I was trying to be the
It's a waste of potential.
Wasted potential. He had a couple good songs. I Heart My Chopper.
I love my chopper and my nigga love me.
Yeah.
School was very hard.
School was very hard.
I mean, like, besides the memes and stuff we do, it's sad.
I think people should use it as a lesson. Don't involve yourself with the wrong people, bro.
Yeah.
Even if you think you're cool, even if you think it makes you look hard, just don't do it. I mean, it's just not worth it getting involved in all that like gang-related kind of stuff. It's really not worth it.
Promethazine is the Tay K, but
the more innocent.
More innocent, not in jail Tay K.
The not in jail version of Tay K because they got like the same flow base.
Shout
out to Promethazine.
Promethazine walks around like that minority, finger on the trigger.
Finger on the trigger. No, yeah, but I think it should just be used as a lesson for people, and I think, you know, honestly, like, like I keep saying, don't get involved in the wrong thing, because I mean, your whole music career, think about it, he's making money off of this. He could have had such a bright future, could have been on XXL. Positive thoughts to everybody in that situation.
Yeah.
The kid that got killed, unfortunately, I think he was only like in his 20s, and it's really unfortunate.
It's people are at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, so I think
in terms of their case,
very sad situation,
and so
for the family too that has to go through that. And I'm sure for Tay K's parents or whoever. I thought it was hella funny, by the way, even though it's kind of off topic, how they're in the court, they were literally referring to him as Tay K. They weren't saying his real name. There was a video, so for you guys that don't know, there's a DJ Academics. He's like this hip hop, obviously.
DJ Academics is a legend.
Yeah, so he uploaded a video of like the court footage, and when they were testifying or whatever, or the judge, he was calling him by Tay K. Like he wasn't even saying his real name.
This Tay K.
So Tay K, this young man right here.
This young man.
So I don't know, I just thought that was funny. I wanted to say, basically make this a point in this episode that like, a lot of this has happened to other rappers too. For example, we've seen it happen to YNW Melly.
Yeah. Oh, banana bee.
It's almost like, and it's kind of a weird situation, I think, because it's like...
It also involves his boys too, right?
Yeah, a couple of his, yeah.
And you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, I don't really know too much about the information, but I know that like he was basically charged because they said he killed one of his boys or something.
He killed two.
And he drove around with the dead bodies.
Was it
in
two?
the back of the car? In the car, yeah, it was two of them. Some of the YNW members. So apparently, what I was hearing is that obviously Melly didn't like. I don't think he turned himself in, but he was saying that he still believes he's innocent, but he did it to look good for the court apparently. But now he might be screwed. I mean, I'm not sure how that case is going because it's been a while, but they were trying to use they said the court was basically saying that hella evidence against them. They're like, yo, we're going to use your song lyrics. And that's where it kind of makes you think too, like as an artist, you know what I mean? You're rapping about what you live, right? You're rapping about the lifestyle you live. But at the same time, you do that too much, certain things will come up from the past and they'll get you in trouble. Yeah, there's so much going on. I just think it's like, it kind of makes you think, it makes me think from a perspective of like, yo, if I'm a rapper and I want to rap about this kind of stuff that I'm doing, whether I was guilty or not, you gotta be careful with what you say.
It's like, even if the people like, for instance, the YBN boy, the YBN Namir, like talking about the rubbing off the paint, or even like bounce out. It's like some artists have actually been through it, like Chief Keef and all the Chicago.
Right, and they've actually been through something.
And then there's artists that talk about it,
but haven't actually lived that life.
And
but see, it's all a marketing scheme too.
It's all marketing scheme.
Because it's like, when we're listening to music, you know what I mean? I feel like we're kind of naturally attracted to like, it sounds stupid, but we're naturally attracted to negativity. So like when we hear that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Bounce out with that fofo. Whatever it is, we start getting hyped.
The first time I listened to exploit music, I was pleasantly like surprised.
Right, it's like a pleasant sort of surprise. Like, even though it sounds weird.
And it's like, it's nice to the ears.
Yeah.
Definitely nice to the ears.
So, I mean, it's a marketing aspect, I think, for a lot of people.
And so, yeah.
I think that's why they're doing it. But,
and then there's like, there's also the case of Bobby Shmurda. It's like, even if you're not a rapper, just be careful what you say.
Exactly.
To certain people.
It goes a long way. Words go a long way.
Yeah, and like, you gotta keep your circle small, bro.
Yeah.
Keep a small circle. Keep a small circle. I can't fuck with squares. Playboy Cardi, 2017, I believe. Anyways, like it's just a lot. It's just I'm shaking my head basically. It's like,
just like hearing about all this.
Seeing these rappers and then like.
No, yeah. I think it's just crazy too because Young Bands brought up a point the other day. I was on Twitter and we have our Instagram page, the Ramblerz podcast. Go follow it if you haven't.
Go follow it. Follow that IG.
We post basically clips from here or whatever, but I posted a thing because I saw Young Bands basically speaking about this. And Young Bands he actually had some sort of murder trial. I wasn't sure if what happened with that.
It was back then, yeah.
Back in the day. I don't think he's gone on trial for it yet. I don't remember what happened with that. But anyways, he actually brought up a really good point on Twitter and was like, why do you guys get mad at these rappers when you're the ones that are supporting and listening to their music? So for example, everybody's disappointed, everyone's mad. I'm sure there's people that want to cancel Tay K because of what he did, but yet we're the ones listening to these lyrics that talk about robbing people, that talk about killing people, but yet we're mad when people are actually telling the truth. You know what I mean? And it's almost like if we want a clean rap community, right? Like it can't just come. Like I think what Young Bands is making is a good point because we get people that are mad about this. Okay, like for example, let's bring up like the Tay K situation, right? people get mad because they're like, yo, Tay K actually could have done this. Like, we shouldn't support someone that's a murderer. But yet, on the other hand, you have these same kinds of people that are listening to Migos talking about robbing people. I'm gonna shoot you up. Whatever they're saying, right? And then Chief Keef, who I'm not, Chief Keef lived that life and people are still supporting him. I mean, it's so hypocrisy. It's just when someone actually gets convicted, people are like, we gotta stop listening.
Well, for Chief Keef's situation, he got out of Chicago.
Yeah, and made his life better.
But then again, if he goes back to Chicago, he's gonna get automatically arrested.
And you never know what kind of like situation he really was in.
Yeah, because
you never really know.
You can't even go back to Chicago. You can't even go back to Chicago because if he goes back, he's gonna get arrested for the stuff he did.
Yeah, no,
it's just a lot of people, like, just artists talking about that, like.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just feel like if we really so these people that are talking bad and saying, I don't want to support rappers that murder people, you want to do that, then you better stop supporting most of the rappers.
It's like if you want to stop supporting that, just stop listening to hip hop music.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing, because
listen to Logic.
Some of these people,
listen to Logic.
Some of these people, like, I get it. Maybe they're not telling the truth because we don't really know. Some of them are not serious about it. But you have to admit, these people are rapping about lifestyles that they've actually been through. So you can't expect them to, like, I know we got YB and Amir that freaking has his GTA little service. You know what I mean?
On that.
So it's like, but you can't expect. I think it's just so stupid, bro. You can't expect people to just do that. Like, and it's kind of coming down again to like cancel culture, but obviously we could save that entire topic for another time.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like that's just a really good point that no one ever talks about.
No, I mean people do talk about it, but then like so much other stuff happens that it gets clouded. It gets clouded and it gets shadowed.
Forget about it.
People just talk about the next thing.
Because I always have thought about that, dude. I'm like, okay, it's even with the whole like bringing up X and all that. I know X was a completely different situation because his was not a murder. Obviously, it was like assault of a girl, whatever, like
but later, like
abuse or whatever it was.
It was never like the case ended, but like
the case ended.
It was never like
they never found him guilty by law. But what I was thinking is kind of like, like everybody's getting mad because they're figuring out that X could be guilty of this and they want to cancel him, right? Because we can't support someone that's hit women before. But then let's go back and look at all the gangster rappers. What do they talk about? They probably talk about hitting women all the time. And am I saying it's okay?
It's like the NWA.
I'm not saying it's okay.
It's like
NWA.
Yeah, like I forgot what's.
But people act brand new when they hear about these rappers actually living a hardcore and negative life. And I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not even saying it's a good thing to support it, but I'm just saying you can't be one-sided.
Like sometimes
that makes sense.
for me personally, I could be way more interested in someone's interviews, learning about their life instead of the actual music.
Yeah,
because some of the music,
that's what I try to do too. I think it's crazy. It's funny that you mentioned like Logic too, because even though he's kind of a meme, he actually did have like a hard life like that growing up.
He did. Like his dad was a freaking like
drug dealer, and his mom literally like called him like racist like slangs, and
then he choked him.
Yeah, like,
almost killing Logic. And so it's like,
yeah, that man has been through a lot. I mean, even though he doesn't, but see, there's kind of a difference, which is strange when you look at it, because he's been through what some people may consider some of the most gangster life, right? Mm-hmm. And he's been around it, but he decided to get out of that, and he never went that route of like selling drugs or doing anything like that. He went the route of being like, yo, I'm gonna be a positive influence.
Yeah, and then like people could be really annoyed at that, or just the corny part of it.
Yeah, which is understandable. Because when it gets shoved in your face so much, it's like, okay, just stop.
It's like I love positive energy. I love all that stuff. But once it gets, I don't know how to explain it. Like
once it gets a little too much.
Because you can have, you're not gonna be just in general. You're gonna have those times where you feel negative, where you feel down. And like, of course, you need some positivity, but a little bit too much positivity, and it's like
there has to be a fine balance,
a fine line, like an equilibrium. Of like, just like so you have to have a fine line of it.
Exactly.
And Logic's part, he's doing really good though. Like he's really good with like with the whole. There's a couple songs I can really name. Like for instance, "As I Am" is basically just a song just telling you like, hey yo, you're doing good, bro. You got this, bro. He's just basically talking to the person that's listening to it, but then he talks about himself. And then like, yo, just look at me, look what I'm doing right now, and look this great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as a person, I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
But music's kind of like.
I think like it's a really hard situation. Like even though I feel like this kind of fits along the lines of this topic of like, it's hard for hip hop because I think. Like what I was kind of saying, with all these people saying, yo, I don't want to support people that are murderers. If that's the case, then we have to change the whole narrative of hip hop. We can't have people rapping about guns then. But then there's another argument that might say, let people do that because that's what they live. That's what they grew up around, right?
Hip hop was founded on this culture, on black culture.
On poverty.
Like just
police brutality,
hustling.
I mean, I guess there's a wave of like people can do it in like a more positive sense, but the problem is that unfortunately that's not what sells in the market. Negativity sells in the market at the end of the day, and I think, you know, I'm not trying to speak for myself and say I'm all high and mighty. I realize these kind of things, but I mean, of course, I listen to all the new rap now too. I like it too.
Nelly Choppa.
Yeah, I like all the new stuff too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just realizing, like. It'd be hard to change the narrative because that's what sells. People want to hear negativity. They want to hear, I'm going to shoot you or whatever. And I get it. Some of these people are really living that life.
Suburban kids.
Yeah, and especially, you know, I hate to say it, but there might be like suburban kids that it appeals to in that sense because they never got to live a life like that. So when they hear about it, they're more like intrigued or whatever. They think it's more interesting.
The baby.
So, you know,
yeah.
Like the baby, basically. You know, he talks about beating up everybody.
And then you have Megan Thee Stallion with the whole hot girl summer thing.
Yeah, and that's becoming like a meme.
It's becoming like a meme / the biggest thing of this, like literally of this like summer of this year so far. Like, halfway through. But like, it's a lot. It's like you see like a lot of like different things happening every year.
Oh yeah, totally.
Hip hop and then just in general everything.
Yeah, and then we were also gonna bring up, you know, the fact that Blueface too apparently kicked out his mom and his sister.
It's like.
And I don't know what the full story is. I mean, I haven't, to be honest with you, like a lot of these events, I know the gist of it. And I mean, it might not seem like I'm verified to talk about it or not, but like, I know I saw like an Instagram live and he was basically kicking his mom out.
I don't know.
He said something about them taking his money or something.
And Blueface's mom was literally saying like, yo, I was the one that financially supported you with like your studio time. I'm the one that paid for it.
Right.
I'm the one that like you're living in your car and like stuff like this. And then next thing you know, he got robbed by one of his girlfriends. And so yeah,
and then that happens.
$500,000 of jewelry.
Crazy.
And so,
I mean, it's one of those things where like, I don't want to judge off the whole mom thing because it's like we don't know the full story.
We don't know the full story at all.
So I mean, his mom could have been shady. You never know because there's always two sides to every story.
It's like there's always two sides to every story, you know, like.
But I think the problem is too is like, because okay, so when you're famous, everything that you do is public. So like all your situations, all your personal situations, the public gets to see it. And that's the worst thing because they get to judge you off of what they see.
And it's like, you know, it goes to show like Scooby because, you know, people sometimes want that attention. They want to be famous.
Yeah.
But like, are they mentally ready? Are they mentally
Are they prepared for that?
Because like
everybody wants the fame, you know, everybody wants to blow up, but
you don't want to end up like Britney Spears having that whole like shit in her head thing. Like,
a lot of stuff happens.
Because a lot of stuff can happen, you know, to artists, to like even influencers, to celebrities, you know. Did you talk about Etika? Like it's.
Oh yeah, rest in peace to Etika. He was a YouTuber who did. Obviously, you guys probably know about this, but he did gaming videos, and eventually, I think the fame just got to him, and like he kept saying that he was like depressed and he didn't want to be here, but people were really making memes out of him, bro. And that's just the internet for you. The internet is just people talk behind a screen.
Yeah, and so it could be off topic, but we're talking about like more or less what the fame can do to people sometimes because the whole Blueface thing, I feel like it got to his head low key.
Yeah.
Like and then like when you look into the other things, you never know what the fame could do to someone.
He's like, I'm gonna kick my mom and sister out. No, the whole Blueface situation, everybody saw that happen on a live stream, right?
Yeah.
And that makes Blueface look bad. But at the end of the day, I'm not defending him. Maybe he was in the wrong for doing that, obviously. But you never know the two sides of every story. And because you're famous, all your personal stuff is getting projected. Like, look at Logic. When he divorced with his wife, I don't know if you remember that.
Yo, yeah,
that was like a year or two ago.
That was like very weird because we don't know, because you know we don't know.
We don't know what happened, but yet everybody saw it.
Everyone saw that they got divorced.
And that's the thing that sucks about being famous. All your personal info is gonna be out there at some point.
And it definitely messes with because you know, like I always hear about the therapy, like you know, like it's definitely if you need therapy, go for it. You know, like I'm not posing it, but like what I mean by that is just like I always hear that they always go to therapy, and you know it's beneficial for them. I'm not saying anything bad about it.
Yeah, right.
It's like you know I feel like they need more therapy than the average like.
You're talking like famous people, right?
Yeah, famous people.
Definitely.
Because they always go through shit, and then like either that or they cope through some like means, right? They could go to the gym. They could smoke weed, they could do drugs, but
it's hard because it's like at the end of the day, like all eyes are on you. And it goes back to everything you talk about. It goes back to Tay K. All eyes were on him when he made that song. Look what happened now. You gotta
all eyes are on him, and everyone's clowning him for it now.
And everyone's clowning him.
Clowning him.
And what is he doing right now? He's crying in the jail cell. I don't blame him. I mean, it's just what happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes, negative attention is good attention. I mean, think about, bringing back to Blueface. You know what I mean? Obviously, he started to get really popular because people would kind of make fun of him for being offbeat. And I think he was aware of that. But see, just the fact that he was offbeat and sounded funny got more people to listen to his music, to stream his music, to check out who he is, and that brought him money at the end of the day. So negative attention can be good attention.
It's like the same.
At the same time, I feel like negative attention catches up to you at the end of the day. Like, remember so for example, Denzel Curry, he made that song Clout Cobain, right? And he was kind of referring to how, like, I think, at least I saw it, like, he was saying how, like, these people are blowing off of the negative attention, but they're gonna get to a point where they realize everybody is just making fun of me. Like, Lil Pump kind of,
for example. It's like the music video, too, because, like, it's basically a circus, and then, like, Denzel Curry is kind of a clown or a mime. Yeah. And then, like, how do you describe him? The ringleader?
The ringleader, right.
The ringleader was controlling him, and then you see people in the audience getting face tats, like, drinking lean, like, all that other stuff.
Very good video. You guys should check it out.
It's like old, but it's, like, a really good video.
I think it's almost a year old now, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Because his album came out, like, last year.
Damn, it's already been that long.
And then, like... But it's been a long time. But now he doesn't have any dreads anymore. He's like me. I got a buzz cut, as you can tell. I got a buzz cut recently, so.
I got one too, but it's growing back. You know what I'm saying?
Blueface, baby.
Got the Blueface. We're gonna get the Blueface haircut.
No.
Get the little Blueface tat right here.
Oh, I don't want the Benjamin on my face.
The Benjamin tat.
I don't want the Benjamin on. Anyways, like, it sucks.
Yeah. So obviously, a lot is going down. On that note, I don't really have any much more to say about it. I just think, like I said, I just want. People that are watching this, I just want them to take away the point of, always make sure who you surround yourself with. Fame isn't everything, obviously. You can want it, but it has issues. It can backfire on you. And there's a lot going down in the community right now. Our next video will probably be about Double XL.
Yeah, this one's a shorter podcast than we do.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make a short one because, it's kind of like...
Just to talk about it.
Because, like, we're planning on doing more topics. Like,
yeah.
For instance, as you can tell, we have a lot of topics. We were kind of like...
Yeah, bouncing back and forth.
But, it's something.
Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And I think we should wrap it up right here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, thank you guys for watching episode 4 of the podcast. And we wish you guys have a good day, a good night, or whatever time zone you guys are watching this at. Anyways, see you later.
All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. Ramblerz podcast. Check us out on Instagram. Subscribe if you like it.